Well, Rothschild was the one who said, I don't plan to control the people, I plan to control the currency. That's a good shoe-in to what you're saying.
Exactly. And so to them, controlling the currency is just a means to control the population so they can keep us down and keep us imprisoned. Psychologically and spiritually.
Psychologically and spiritually, also what comes with that is a self-imposed prison that you accept and live in yourself and believe it's okay. But you know what okay stands for? Only kidding. It's not a word of substantiality. Okay.
Gary, from your study of the New World Order, because I'd like to get your angle on it, what do you think about this global system?
Oh, I think it's primitive in many ways. I had a trip to the other side. I think it's primitive in many ways, simply because the experience I had December 4th, 1988, I went off my Harley Davidson without a helmet, hit head first and butt first into a curb, split my skull and put a hole in it that big, my skull, and I had massive brain surgery at Cedars-Sinai, 1:15 p.m. Sunday afternoon, December 4th, by Dr. Lauren Hooden. And he told me if I'd been 3 minutes late, I wouldn't be here now. So it's all in the quickness to get the victim to the hospital. I came out of the hospital in recovery from a traumatic brain injury where I had to learn to walk, talk, eat, dress myself, organize, speak all over again from the very beginning. And I went to Washington and met with a George H. Bush administration White House briefing, talking about how the federal government should look into acting in support in favor for people with traumatic brain injuries. And I'm the advocate and the creator of the Traumatic Brain Injury Act that Bill Clinton signed into an act in 1996. I have first and last page of the Traumatic Brain Injury Act right from this White House stationery on my wall. I'm very proud of that. I see in my work in Washington with my very good friends there who helped support me on this, what they're going through in Washington, they're doing a darn good job balancing and juggling the show. But the world is getting smaller. And the thing that creates the end of it all is terrorism. Terrorism must be looked at from all points of the globe, not just America. Everyone has their hand in a piece of the pie from different countries for themselves to survive and to be powerful. But it shouldn't be like that. I'm not talking about we should be in a New World Order, a secret society. I'm talking about we should do what he has planned for us. And that's to understand and accept others for what they're feeling, for what their beliefs are. And don't go to war over it. And don't abolish the American people for thinking one way when the government wants you to think another way. Because Thomas Jefferson was 29 years old when he wrote the Declaration of Independence. That's pretty young. Look what he wrote down. We the people. The government is the people. People need to speak and write their congressmen, their senators. They need to speak up about what they're not feeling or about what they're feeling is not right.
Exactly. And people say there is a feeling in the world that things don't seem right, Gary.
It's not right.
You've been involved in other legislation. We've talked a lot about, before the camera was on, about decriminalization of drugs and giving people treatment instead of locking them up in these private prisons where they really end up just producing slave goods that then take people's jobs on the outside. You were involved in California in some really exciting legislation.
California and Oklahoma. I spoke in front of 5,000 drug court judges, and it was a spur-of-the-moment thing. And I said, guide me, angels. Guide me, God, guide me in the way I'm to be in your service. And I talked about not incarceration for the people who get caught with drugs, but rehab. Don't take them to prison. Take them to some place that they can be worked with in understanding what their disease is or their addictions are. And my language created Proposition 36 in California. And my little brother and good friend, Robert Downey Jr., got to go into that. He went into that. He wasn't incarcerated anymore.
Now, California passed that.
Yeah. Yay.
And that was Proposition
36.
So you were instrumental in getting Proposition 36 passed?
Yes. I was an instrument there. I was an ingredient in the cake mix that brought forth Proposition 36 as a legal order.
Now, take Rush Limbaugh. He's been caught now by the police, and they have the emails and the witnesses, buying masses of prescription drugs, painkillers. But then we go back to his broadcast. He said anybody that was caught with any illegal drugs should be sent to prison and given the maximum. Now, what should happen to him now if it goes to court and he's convicted?
Well, Chris Stofferson called it a walking contradiction years ago in a beautiful song he wrote. And that's what Rush has done. It's done a walking contradiction. But I know every word after the word but in a sentence is bullshit. So I'll say and. Rush Limbaugh is a person who is in the arena of needing help in that way.
Well, Gary, that's what I was going to say. Is that despite the fact that he's a hypocrite, despite the fact that I don't like a lot of things that he has to say, because he balkanizes people and puts people in little bitty boxes, in their mindsets, and we're trying to open them up and expand that paradigm. I don't want him to go to prison for having a problem with something that's a sickness and illness.
Well, the word you use, try, T-R-Y, that stands for tomorrow's really yesterday. Because as long as we keep trying, we're not going to get it done. The words kinda and sorta, those are words that come into our vocabulary as a colloquialism to stop us from achieving our accomplishment.
So we should forgive Rush Limbaugh and tell him next time to forgive others.
Yes, and forgive stands for finding ourselves really giving individuals valuable energy. And valuable energy is unconditional love. And hypocrisy is a lubricant of a civilized society. Hypocrisy is also the lubricant of organized religion that puts religion first and earth laws first before spirituality and the growth of spirituality.
Well, that's what Jesus was saying, is that the Pharisees had put themselves before God. They had made their little laws and their little colloquialisms, as you were saying. That became the religion, and what it was about worshiping man's little trivialities instead of being part of the bigger picture.
Perfect.
Kevin, let's do this. You might want to strap that back. Sorry, Gary. It's better now.
Yeah.
That's why I wore black.
That's nice.
Okay, let's take advantage of what.
Kevin,
Yeah.
we'll just
He's okay.
I'm rolling. I can hear it. It sounds good.
good.
Let's take advantage of what's a great gift God gave us. Let's look into the power of memory. Memory is given to us because it's a very powerful ingredient in our substance to remember. And I had traumatic brain injury, and I had short-term memory lapse for a long time, but I don't have that anymore, simply because of prayer and paying attention. And I don't only pay attention, I play attention.
I want to second that. I have talked to this guy about a year ago for the first time. He remembers the conversations we had a year ago, and I'm having trouble remembering them, but with him reminding me, I do. So,
Let's check your memory.
Okay.
Repeat after me.
All right.
One hen.
One hen.
One hen, two ducks.
One hen, two ducks.
One hen, two ducks, three squawking geese.
One hen, two ducks, three squawking geese.
One hen, two ducks, three squawking geese, four corpulent porpoise.
I can't.
I'll repeat it. Four corpulent porpoise.
Okay. One hen, two geese,
Ducks.
ducks,
Quack, quack,
three geese, squawking geese, and four corpulent porpoise.
Very good.
What are corpulent porpoise? I have to.
Well, porpoise is a plural of porpoise.
Oh, so we've got the porpoise down here.
And corpulent. Corpulent are big boys.
Yeah, in the Malibu. In fact, Kevin, show folks just for a second this incredible.
Yeah, I'll get on this side.
Well, it's kind of a cloudy day, so we don't see
Oh, it's
all of it.
beautiful. It's unbelievably beautiful. We saw some porpoise down there earlier, didn't we?
Yes,
I saw it, yeah.
going from south to north. Okay, here we go. One hen,
One hen,
two ducks,
two ducks,
three squawking geese,
three squawking geese,
four corpulent porpoise,
four corpulent porpoise,
five pair of Don Alvarez tweezers.
five pair of Don Alvarez tweezers.
That's number 5. Go.
Well, Gary, we will, just for a second, if I can digress here, because you bring up memory. For me, I have a great memory for, obviously we have great memories for things we love and enjoy. I mean, if you love, black Mercedes, you could probably remember quite a bit
There's
about.
many ways to define the one word of love.
Exactly. Well, let's just say like or enjoy her. But the point is that I can remember stuff that I care about. And what I really care about is the news and watching a politician say one thing. And
you know what news stands for?
Northeast, Southwest. That's what they got.
Information from 4 directions.
Yeah. And that's how they actually started it. People had these boards up in the Old West, and they would, have news from different parts of the country, Northeast, Southwest. So that became the news board.
You know what the word sin stands for? S-I-N?
No.
Self-imposed nonsense.
I believe it.
Yay. You ready to go to 8?
Well, I just wanted to bring up 1984. George Orwell, who wrote this book about tyranny, talks about the key to the tyranny was people didn't have memory. So they couldn't remember the lies, and they couldn't remember that things had gotten worse. And then they would even lie to them if they would then even lie to their own selves because they'd spent so much time accepting all the other lies. So basically, without having a memory, you can't know what the truth is.
Good point.
But that's what George Orwell said. I don't want to plagiarize him.
Also, you must learn this too, that mistakes are looked at as gifts. Because a mistake is a gift you have to learn something from.
Wisdom.
Wisdom and mastery of thought. Failing, F-A-I-L-I-N-G, that stands for finding an important lesson, inviting needed growth. So as a matter of fact, in the truth of it all, in the memory of all truths, you don't fail, you just find a better way to do it.
So going back to what my grandmother said, that you have to be old enough to die to know how to really live.
It's called age, experience, and wisdom and mastery. It happens with the evolution of your destiny. Let's give Mr. Alex a hand.
Oh, he knows I can't do the 10th one. I can't do all 10.
No. You can do it, but what this has displayed, what you gave a display of is your energy is not to be held back. And it's as if you're sprinting a quarter of a mile so fast you outran your purpose. There's no pressure, there's no diamonds. When you stay in the logic of going slow and taking your time and really thinking and stopping and associating words with colors or images you have in your mind, then your memory stays fast and your memory is you. And that's when you become your memory, and that's when all things within you are solid.
Well, in a way
concerning the past, the now, and the future. You must remember the past is history, the future is a mystery, and now is a gift because it's called the present.
Well, in a way what I was saying earlier is that I have a great memory for things I love or things that I think are important. And so what would you say to that? But then things
I'll say the most important thing you love and important to you is you. That's the secret to fulfilling your destiny through the evolution of your spirit of truth, your spirit of freedom, and your spirit of spirit.
So we're mean to other people because we really hate ourselves, but if we love ourselves, we won't be mean to other people?
Well, it says enemies. You must learn to love your enemies. Because in the truth of it all, enemies are friends in reverse. And they show us things about ourselves we need to change. And that's why they're here.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're talking to Gary Busey, and I talked to Gary about a year ago and about 6 months ago, and he's an investigator of a lot of different things. He's been looking into world government and the New World Order and into the different facets of it. Gary?
Sir?
World history, tyranny, tyrants. How do we deal with the general public not even being aware of the fact that power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely? I mean, people before us, our founding fathers, knew you got to restrict government, you got to restrict control over our lives because bad men will get control of those mechanisms. The government's just a tool, but you don't want to build the tool, the device that can enslave and destroy. Do you have any comments to that?
Yeah, through history, through the beginning of time, we've been learning that power is the ultimate achievement. No matter how the power comes, no matter how you use it. If you're in power, no matter how it is, negative, positive, indifferent, stoic, nothing. But if you feel you have power, and whatever way you use that feeling to give you the power you have, whether it be tyranny, wars, I mean, the greatest oxymoron of them all is holy war, which is not in God's plan. The poor people of the Middle East, the Islams and the Muslims, and the Arabs and the Taliban, the Afghanistans, the Pakistanis, Iraq, Iran, Syria, Turkey, Israel, the Palestinians, they all have a purpose on this earth, but they're not using the purpose God gave them to use. They're using the fear that they have by not using God's purpose. And the best way to stop wars is to have women fight naked. Because if women fight naked and the men stand beside, the women will end up having a Tupperware party and the war will be over.
Well, then we won't have much war because they're starting to put the women into the military. Even if they have found that about half the women that went to Iraq.
Take their clothes off, have them fight naked, and watch what happens. The men will be coming to watch them fight naked. And it'll be a joy. Everybody will be happy. Everybody will win. Everybody is a winner. Not the powerful people. They're not the winners. They're the users. They're the ones who betray. Power is a gift we have to utilize within ourselves for others in the best way possible. The paradigm of power is the highest standard of power, and that simply is giving.
Well, Gary, certainly throughout history there's different types of power, and there's powerful people that are powerful because they do good things and they do it for the right reasons. Why is it, though, really dark, evil, wicked people who are sadistic and enjoy doing bad things to populations, enjoy mutating populations spiritually, physically, financially, why do those type of individuals normally get into power, and then once they have power, no one's challenging them, they increase the murder, the slaughter? How do we stop? Well, number one, why do we see that happen, or do you agree? And then number two, how do we stop that?
A lot of the people who are under the power of the tyrants are like sheep. They know nothing else. They have no role models. This is from generation to generation to generation, and they come with generational curses, and they come from the spirits of evil, and there's 14 of them that are listed in the Bible. And when you have these spirits of evil working with you, within you, around you, and you have the spirits of evil working in the leaders and in the politicians and in the generals, working with them, you have nothing but evil. Nothing but evil. And the most endangered species is dedicated leaders.
I mean, good leaders.
I mean, dedicated leaders in the right way, in the good way.
That, folks, that is incredibly, the old 60s word, heavy. I totally agree from my study of the New World Order. That's exactly what's happened. And they're so evil that it's so generational. They're so compartmentalized at the top of the pyramid that they don't even know it. This is what they are. They're a beast just rending people.
Yeah, and the people are allowing it to happen because they know nothing else.
Can you speak more to that? That was key. What you just said really was advanced. I mean, it helped me see a lot. Can you tell folks, more on that line of what you were saying?
Well, what I was saying earlier was to understand the freedom you have of being who you are, and your family, your loved ones, and your professional workplace, and the faith you have. And the word faith, F-A-I-T-H, that stands for fantastic adventures in trusting Him. Him is God as you perceive it. But God is not evil. God is not destructive. God is not a tyrant. God is not a barbarian. God is all-knowing. God all is. God is all. And it's the most powerful thing we have working for us. And to get out of the way of people guiding you into a place called a box canyon or a corral without a gate or a fence, you're trapped. You're in a self-imposed prison of yourself and what you live in. And if you're not feeling right about something, or you have questions about something, write your congressman, write your senator, write President Bush, and be a voice, because we the people are the people of our government. And Thomas Jefferson, 29 years old, wrote that down on a piece of parchment, and that's our Declaration of Independence. And there's so many, there's a lot of negativity going on in our government. There's a lot of negativity going on in our neighborhood. And one thing we must learn to do is never compete with the energy of the neighborhood. Our body, our self, is our first neighborhood. Our second neighborhood is our family. Our third neighborhood is the house we live in. Our fourth neighborhood is the neighborhood, the houses around you. Fifth neighborhood, the city. Sixth neighborhood, the state. Seventh neighborhood, the country. And the eighth neighborhood is the world.
Infinity.
Never compete with the energy of those neighborhoods. Learn how to fit into it in your way of truth. And understand that the one way to be safe and to be in a place of nurturement is being true to yourself, without the advice from others on how to handle and be more powerful over others. Because that's what planet Earth is about. We're here to learn truth. We're here to learn unconditional love. And we are here to accept all things and knowing God will take care of us all in His way, on His calendar. Open yourself up to that. Don't live with the traditions and rituals of generations ago, because it hadn't worked. Didn't work back then, it's not working now. So get in touch with yourself and your heart. Listen to people who are saying things to you that you must listen to. And don't go, I don't need to hear that, I don't want to hear that. That's your fear coming up. And I'll tell you this, that fear is a dark room where the devil develops his negatives. And the word F-E-A-R that spells fear, that stands for false evidence appearing real. And what you fear, you create in yourself. You have nothing to fear because you are yourself. Look for the answers in your heart. Look for the answers. People who are giving you information that's not supposed to be out because it's too good. Want everything kept in a controlled state. That's not the way we are to live here. We're supposed to live, we are required to live in the truth of ourselves. It's called finding the freedom of your me. I found the freedom of my me. You can too, just by paying attention.
Unbelievable. Gary?
Yes, sir. Captain, sir.
Folks, that is just amazing information. And Gary, to ask you another question along that line, how do we get the people to do unto others as you would have them do unto you? Because it's true, if we were all better people, if we were all more involved trying to be powerful with our community instead of being powerful over a community, how do we do that? How do you tips for people out there, because you've definitely gone deep into this, a deep diver into this, advice for folks out there?
Well, the golden rule is the biggest rule of all. Do unto others as you would have others do unto you. And it starts with you doing that to yourself. Be kind to yourself. Don't be mean to yourself. Don't be a codependent. Don't be a rescuer. Because a lot of the things, a lot of the energy that you bring with you comes from the energy of a displaced past and an unpurposeful future. The golden rule starts with you. You yourself. Do as to yourself as you would do to others. Do unto others as you would have others do unto yourself. See, it's all saying the same thing. All this information I just gave you comes right down to one thing that Alex just put up in front of you. This is a sail on your boat of life. The unconditional love. The golden rule is your sail. The ocean is a spirit. The ocean is your imagination. The ocean is your power. The ocean is your emotion. The sail on the boat is the golden rule. The wind that catches the sail and pushes the boat into a lovely sunset of tropical design with a double rainbow, that wind is your spirit. So when you're kind to yourself, you'll be kind to others. And believe you me, I've been through it. Because I was hell to be with and hell to be around for a long time. But you must go through those things to see that there is an outcome for it. That's another reason we're on earth. To go through life and use life as life is given to you. And life is given to you as a blessing. And you can turn your blessings into blessings for others by utilizing the golden rule for yourself first and for others. And know that God is always with you. He's always there. What happens to people when they go down to the bottom of the barrel and go below the bottom, land of the bottom feeders? They go to God. Happens every time. Happened to me.
That's what happened to Paul. He was the big...
Yeah. I've been compared to Paul. I mean, just the way I live my life, the way I've, taken it on.
Well, I mean, Paul was a great military.
Everybody can be compared to Paul. But the source of my energy, like I was told when I got out of the hospital 2 months early after my death from brain surgery, that I was born with the energy of 10 men who have normal jobs. Knowing that, I went into therapy learning how to balance my internal energy with my environment. When you get along with yourself, there's no way you'll be competing with the energy of the neighborhood. And there's 8 neighborhoods you live in. Isn't this great?
Yeah.
Isn't this great?
Awesome. Folks, I mean, Gary Busey is amazing.
Isn't this great? I didn't know these guys were coming over. I had no idea. I even changed shirts. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, I did change shirts. Honesty. Honesty is your ticket to heaven.
Amazing. Wow.
And that heaven I'm talking about is the heaven you hold in your heart. the heaven you hold internally. It's great to be alive! Celebrate it. Celebrate life every day. And when a loved one passes over to the other side, celebrate that person's life. Funerals are for the living. They wear black, they gnash their teeth, they wail and they moan. That's the living. That's the people who are still living. That's their emotions. Celebrate with the happiness of life when that person crosses over, because that person's in a better place. And when you wail and gnash your teeth and moan, you're holding them back.
Gary, would you like to tell folks what it was like when you got what you saw on the other side? Because I know Colonel Craig Roberts, who we've interviewed, has told very similar stories to what Gary's talked about.
I choose to save that for another time.
Sure.
Right now, this giving anointment that I've had is over for right now. But I'll be back and tell that story. I have much more to tell you, and you'll be hearing more of me if Alex permits that.
Oh, wow. All right. Thanks a lot, Kevin. That was a talking here in Malibu, outside L.A. to, Gary Busey, been in over 100 films.
107.
107, and how many incredible awards? That just
doesn't matter. The awards don't matter. The notches on the gun butt doesn't matter. What matters is right now. N-O-W, and the word now stands for no other way. Now.
All right, folks. That's Gary Busey, and God bless. Take care. Think for yourself. Wow,
That was great, man.
God Almighty.
This whole thing was planned by God. You know that, don't you?
Well, let me tell you,
got
Gary,
your camera out there.
That was some of the most.
Okay, we'll just do it with a shotgun mic.
Yeah, that's fine. Just get up there.
Okay, rolling.
There's a reference I'd like to bring you. No, let's start over. Cut. There's some information. You're in a boat. You're in a boat. You choose the color of the boat. The boat's on the ocean. The ocean represents your spirit, your emotions, and your life. And your life that you're living is the boat. You're in the boat. You have a sail on this boat. And the sail, let's call the sail the golden rule. Do unto others as you would have others do unto you. But it starts with doing to yourself how you would do to others and how others would do to you. It starts with yourself. The sail is a golden rule, do unto others. You have an anchor that you don't know you have. It's an invisible anchor. It goes down, it's sunk in the ocean floor. The wind comes, the boat doesn't move. You don't have an engine on the boat, you don't have any paddles, so you're not going anywhere. The wind in this aspect represents the spirit. That invisible anchor, when you do the golden rule and when you're kind to yourself, when you're kind to others, and when you believe in the truth of who you are and you're not being mean to yourself or others, that invisible anchor will slowly break away. And that invisible anchor represents the people you are listening to who are controlling you, the government that might be controlling you, the senators or congressmen that might have you down in a special place that doesn't give you the complete freedom the Declaration of Independence allows us to have. I'm not pointing my fingers at anyone. I'm just talking about the world around us. And with that invisible anchor, when you see it, that's when you'll be seeing the truth of what is around you. And you simply let it go. The next gust of wind, which is a big spirit of your enterprise of life, will come, catch the sail, and you will sail into a beautiful tropical sunset with a double rainbow, a smell and a climate you've never had before. So the invisible anchors you have around you, don't let them be invisible anymore. Look for them, see them. It's just as simple as seeing what's holding you back. And you might think it's other things and other people, but the bottom line is that it's you holding yourself back. The invisible anchor needs to be released for your boat to go forward, sailing in the wind of the Spirit. Yeah, that's good. Remember that. If you didn't remember it, call Alex. He'll get you a copy of the tape. Adios.